What is happening, everybody? It's your boy Jimmy James 59, and today got ourselves an interesting game. We got the Capture Age Pro going on here, right? We finally afford it, right? We finally kicked in that dough, and we're just out here, making a little money. Not making any money off of YouTube yet, right? But those who follow, subscribe on Twitch, I always thank you. And also, I would say, a lot of the music on this channel, basically half of the music you hear on this channel, including the music that is currently playing in the background, are tracks that I have produced myself, right? If I've produced it, I like to include a link on Spotify. Right there, I go by Duke Montrose. I also really like other music I put in here is Harris Heller. But all this, I'm not trying to sell out, right? And Harris Heller, shout out streambeats.com. He's very good. But I'm not trying to sell out for me, my alter egos, or for Harris Heller right now. What I'm trying to do is I want to talk about a game. And today's game, right, this is a really interesting one where you're going to see me try to play into elephant archers. I've been saying on this channel that I really think elephant archers have a really interesting potential in the game, particularly for team games. I think that the new civilizations have already seen a meta shift in terms of the favorability of Hindustanis and Gurjaras as camel civilizations that I think can compete with some of the knight civilizations just because of how strong the camel bonuses are for those two civs. I would not be surprised, right? Jim Stradamus breaking out the predictions. I would not be surprised to see maybe a camel buff to another civilization that currently has them. I think Turks are probably a pretty decent candidate for that. And that would give camels some more gameplay in the team game setting. But now, that's camels. One of the really interesting one of the really interesting units that we have now as a regional unit is the elephant archer. And it would not surprise me as well if elephant archers see some usage in team games, but where is it most effective to use them, right? How do you use them? These are things we're all trying to figure out, and that's one of the things in this game that that I was trying to figure out as well for myself. And so you can see some of my thoughts, what I think some of the limitations are, and what I think some of the benefits are as well. And maybe you have at least the 3 current civs, which ones are probably best suited to go for them versus others. So let's go ahead and we will try and cast this game. This is a team game played pretty recently on the ladder, right? You can see my awful team elo here. I don't play as many team games, and so but I really enjoy playing team games. In fact, team games I think are my favorite games to play. I actually kind of like them 1-1v1s. If anybody in the chat feels the same way, let me know. And you can see, right, I'm down south in the Bengalis, and I'm doing a scouts build. I'll tell you why in a second. And my teammate, right, he's got 4 on wood. Now he's getting to his 5th on wood. He's the Gurjaras. Gurjaras have such a strange start. Pretty decent map for him. And honestly, it's not a bad map for me, though. This is kind of open. Getting out to wall this far can be kind of difficult. That's a long ways to go. Now, our opponents, right, are up here in the northern portion of the map, right? We have our blue players playing as the Mayans. So I'm going to have the Mayans near me. And we have the purple player playing as the Khmer. So you can see me and my teammate are both going for, we're both going to go for scout builds, right? Really to open this thing off. And so that's a pretty, as you can see, our yellow player's having a bit of idle TC time down here. That's pretty interesting. And, this is not meta at all in this game. Usually one player opens scouts, another opens archers, but we're playing this a little bit differently because the idea is to get to elephant archers. So I'm hoping to play, on my side, basically kind of a map control style of feudal age so that I can get to elephant archers and then have a really strong archer civ. And Mayans, well, Mayans are a super strong archer civ, so if elephant archers are going to be effective against anybody, you'd hope, you know, Mayans are quite the test. Now, looks like that we are going to be up a little bit faster, so we'll have to see. As you can see, right, get a little bit of scouting going on. We'll zoom in just a little bit, right, so we have a little bit more of a profile of the scene. And so thinking about the civs, right, as we have a little bit of action there in the north, thinking about the civs for a moment, you know, if you're going to play elephant archers, you really have three options: Gurjaras, Dravidians, and Bengalis. I picked Bengalis here, if for no other reason than I like the idea quite a bit of being able to get, open up something like scouts, have bloodlines and husbandry, and also the fact that Bengalis, right, their elephants take less bonus damage and are more difficult to convert. So with Bengalis, you're really pushed to go elephant archers. So the key will be holding back our opponent quite a bit, and you can see, right, he's trying to get that range up and trying to delay that just a bit, right? Again, this is all about surviving on the flank going scouts, which is not an easy thing to do. Playing 2v2s, usually the hardest matchup is when the scouts and the archer players are closest to one another, because all it takes is just a couple of spears, and 6 scouts are probably going to have a really difficult time fighting against that many, against 2 spears and a handful of archers. So it's a really tough matchup, I think, for 2v2s, and so I'm pretty nervous, actually, you know, to the extent that I get nervous at such things. Meanwhile, right, you can see right here on the flank, right, my fellow, right, my teammate here with the Gurjaras, he is scaring off those Khmer scouts, right, when he has 2 camel archers and a scout, but these camel archers, right, they're doing, right, if we could click on one for a second, come on, right, they got 4 attack, but they're doing a good bit of bonus damage, so they're really nice against scouts, right, as I see, right, our player in blue, he's playing this thing at home. Meanwhile, right, I've got the scouts out, really trying to just make life as difficult as possible. What I'm really trying to do is slow down the archer mass, right? Keep them at home. Again, this is often something that you're doing when you're playing with scouts in a 1v1, is you're using scouts to take map control, keep your opponent at home so that you can get walled up, and so that you can get the castle age. But instead of playing for knights, right, which the Bengalis don't get, we're playing for elephant archers, right? So otherwise it's a relatively passive game, right? Just taking a look at, you can see some eco KD, right, of killing 3 units so far. I think maybe one of those might be a villager, and doing a nice job just harassing the opponents here. And meanwhile, if we take a look, ooh, we got some fighting, right, going up. These Gurjaras, right? These camel scouts, I'm telling you, man. I think Gurjaras are such a top civ. Meanwhile, we have some action going on, right? We're not completely walled up. That's a mistake on our part, right? You know, we have our player in blue down here. A lot of scouts. Though most of them are kind of in our base here, but we have scouts too, so we can just bring them back, and no big deal. We've suffered a little bit of damage, all right, but actually we haven't even had a single villager killed yet, so not an incredibly big deal. In fact, we've actually killed some scouts, so not really bad for us, and we're not doing that bad so far. Not doing that bad. You can see that we have our eco upgrades, right? So this is good. Where's that? That's our change that so we're not hearing all these sounds from somewhere else. As the camel archers are really doing some work. Our purple player really tried to come over and deal with me, but he really left himself vulnerable to being attacked by my ally, who just lost his first unit here. So I'll tell you, these Camel Scouts are pretty tanky too. Camel Scouts are just such a hard counter for anybody trying to make Scouts in Feudal Age. I mean, these guys are just pretty beastly. Now, meanwhile, we're just trying to get walled up at home. And, okay, so let's take a look here. So, if you're playing, right, if you're going to try and play Scouts into Elephant Archers, and I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but this is the way that I'm trying to do it here. This is what you worry about. Now, what I'm trying to do, right, is I didn't see fletching, but apparently fletching is in now, right? So a little bit of bad timing on my part. I'm just trying to thin out this number, right? I thought they didn't have fletching, so maybe I could take it, but we've thinned out the number, excuse me. It's going to be really difficult for this amount of archers to break in at this point. Right, we're getting a market up here. If we want, we can sell some stone and make a tower. I actually don't think that is the worst play in the world if you're playing Scouts into Elephant Archers. And maybe what you can try and do is create like a guard tower defense. As you can see, right, we're going to try and get these ranges up here. And my buddy is on the way up to Castle Age. He's in a pretty safe economy this game. We took a little bit of we've been at the epicenter of some fighting in this game. That's something to think about when playing as Scouts and Elephant Archers again. Right, we've had archers on us, we've had our purple player Scouts on us, so we've had a little bit of struggle, but we're starting to make our way, and we are on the way up to the next age. And we've thinned out these archers so that they are, right, that they're not masked up, right? They're not here, and so we're on the way up, and we're getting ready to get out there. We are getting ready, and our yellow player, whew, he's got a lot of archers in queue. Power Mayans, I think he should have had more in queue. This could be, again, I don't think our yellow player played this perfectly necessarily. I think he could, if he'd have been making more archers during this process, he may be able to put pressure up. And the stone in this base, I'm probably trying to go out to get here. I'm really becoming a believer. As you see me going 3-range elephant archers, I'm just kind of looking at the food and the gold that I have here. I'm thinking that maybe I could go for it. Let's see how this turns out. I really think playing something like guard tower defense is not a bad idea for playing Scouts into Elephant Archers, if that's what you're going to do. Just so you can keep your economy reasonably safe, you can keep your resources reasonably safe. I like that idea a lot. So, we'll check in on the Elephant Archers in a bit. And now we can see, right, these Gurjaras, these Camel just upgrade instantly. Dude, Gurjaras are so sick. Selling wood, and yes, we have the Elephant Archers, we have Bodkin coming in, we have Bowsaw coming in, so we're getting our two most important eco upgrades, and these guys are gonna hit the streets, and well, you see them, right? You see them, 250 HP, 6 attack, right? Oh my gosh, what a beastly unit we have here. What a beastly unit. And now, good lord, look at all these camels. All right, our purple player, who's been harassed pretty stringently here, has a lot of spears to try and deal with it. All right, okay. As these guys, these biggins, right, as we say down south, these big old boys are making their way down. And, well, okay, let's see what we got. Getting husbandry, I think this is a pretty important tech, especially for team games where you may need to come support your opponent, and you might not be able to, and your opponent might not be able to wait for you to get there. Having husbandry, I think, is really, really nice, and you can see, right, we're getting that. And I don't think we killed a single villager there, actually. That's kind of disappointing. Elephant archers are not very accurate, and it's worth noting that Bengalis do not get thumb ring. Gurjaras and Dravidians get thumb ring, so that might be something important to keep in mind here. But we're still trying to do our best, break in a little bit. Man, these guys are tanky, right? And they're a little bit faster now. Dravidians don't get husbandry, so they're kind of slow. So that's worth keeping in mind. And again, just kind of trying to break this in, and He's got a lot of archers. We have these 4 elephant archers. Ah, boy. So he's caught up in archer numbers, right? He was kind of late getting them queued, but he basically was playing to Castle Age, and well, right? You can see, right? We're standing here, right? Right. Let's see what the trades look like here. So we've lost 10 units so far. I want to see how many of these bad boys we actually lose. Ooh, big shot. Big shot. And notice as well, we're staying on 1 town center. I think that if you're playing elephant archers, they're so expensive. You probably want to play on 1 town center. So that way, there's a couple of reasons. One you're going to see here in a second. There's a big reason, though, in that your farms are going to start to be expiring around, about basically right now. And since elephant archers cost food, you really need to get those back up. Okay, let's see. So we've lost 10 units so far. Haven't lost any yet. Right? Still doing pretty good in the HP, right? We still have about 90% of our HP. Boom, we're adding in so much more HP. Good lord, I don't know why you guys are attacking that. Whatever. Alright, we have the elephant archers up and running. I mean, this is just a tanky unit. I mean, take a look at this. We have 3,000 HP. Yeah, that's like 800 or so. Come on, bro. We have like 3,000 HP. Now, here's where these things come out. So, we forced our yellow player to go into skirmishers here. That's pretty difficult. We'll see how these skirmishers do because Bengalis take less bonus damage from skirmishers, so they're really unique in terms of being able to play against this kind of an army comp. But let's see, right? Let's see how many we actually lose. So damage is looking pretty good, actually, on these guys so far. Still got most of our HP left on these units. Meanwhile, we have elephant archers also on the flank, right? The other player. So this is an all elephant archers game. So purple went with a bunch of pikemen, and our player in the blue, right? He's going mass elephant archers. And looky here, right? So what we're doing right here is we're going forward siege. The idea is to be able to take map control here and thin out these skirmishers. We actually still haven't, I think we're about to lose an elephant archer. Yeah, so we just lost in this heavy fighting. We've lost our first elephant archer. We've got quite a bit on low HP though. So and seeing that, that's the point. We lose one there. You don't want to be losing these units. So I think that even with Bengalis and the skirmishers here, the fact that you're taking less bonus damage, it was a good idea to back up here. Skirmishers are still going to be a pretty effective counter, just not quite as good. As you see, okay, now that this is a skirmisher crossbow army, this is getting much tricky. Now, in a team game, if you force your opponent to make skirmishers and you and your teammate can fight together, this is a pretty good scenario, actually, because they could come in, clean up the skirms, and it's GG. So, but this is getting a little awkward now as we see a siege workshop coming there, and we're just backing up a little bit, right? We're just backing up. We're gonna go, right? We have units here, and we have siege weapons that are being made, so no big deal. And these units, oh man, these guys are coming out. I'm being really careful not to jump into the fighting. And we have another unit added, right? So we're about at 70% of our HP. Really smart move from our yellow player. So this is tough. I think you really need, this is the second thing I was thinking about. You really need the forward siege, I think, in order to try and deal with this. These guys are getting stuck. It's such a bad area to be able to try and fit these units in through. But the idea here is to not, if he's going to go skirmishers, the idea here is to say, hey, let's just not take this fight. Let's make a mangonel, and we can use forward siege to thin out these units. This game is playing out a bit more like just a sort of standard 1v1. As that mango goes down. But you can see, right, our yellow players lost quite a few more units than us, but these skirmishers are still tough. Fortunately, he does not have ballistics yet, and so with husbandry, we're still able to run away pretty effectively. Big shot from the mangonel, right? Really, really big shot there. And so, yep. Getting the value we can. Another big shot. And now we're going to go back in. Because I feel like, based on those shots, we've thinned out the ranks a bit. Right? I'm going to take out that siege workshop. Do these armored elephants... Oh, no. Close, close, but no cigar. So we've thinned out the numbers quite a bit. Because if we can just handle, right? If we can just handle... We have both armor upgrades. If we can handle low numbers of skirmishers because we can one-shot them. And they're not really taking advantage of their bonus damage, right? So we have a little bit of idle time down here. And now, right, now that we've got our first wave of farms down, we're on 3 TCs now, so that's good. 20 elephant archers, not so bad, not so bad. Meanwhile, we have elephant archers again. Forward siege, elephant archers, right? I think that is right. You can see that both myself and my teammate, we both played it this way. And yeah, look, we both have 21 elephant archers. That's pretty cool. Nice symmetry there. This is a really good thing about elephant archers, right? They can fight underneath town centers, which is super useful. Really, really useful. And you can see, right, we're getting a good mass. I think if I could go back, something I would want to do is make a forward monastery as well. It would be so great to heal these guys up, right? We have okay HP, but not much. But yeah, these guys can fight under town centers. It's really not that big of a deal. You have so much HP. It's pretty nice to be able to just like roll through your enemy's base. You can tank siege weapons as well, so that's not the greatest threat. Ooh, let's see what happens when this mangonel comes out. But let's see if we can click on how much damage is done. Alright. I just want to see how much damage gets done. Oh, it's not released yet. Never mind. Oh. Let's see. Okay, he's targeting the siege. I was kind of hoping he'd target the elephant archers. Nope, didn't get one off. Okay. Well, anyways, right? We have the siege workshop under siege a little bit, and we're actually being pushed back quite a bit. So I think that this is something with elephant archers in terms of their potential as a civ on the flank. If it's playing out like 2 1v1s and you can't get a pocket over with cavalry to deal with this unit, I think that this is kind of a more... It really depends on your siege workshop, I think, and what you have. Because these... Right, because see, once we add in the mangonel here, right, they can't fight in quite the same way. And so you can see already too, we're up to Imperial Age now, so we're able, with Bengalis get Parthian tactics, right, which is good, and get the lust armor upgrade, so they're very, very tanky. And so you'll probably be able to help survive a bit better against skirmishers then. But Castle Age, I think it could be a bit difficult to survive as Bengalis. In terms of offensive potential, I think you really, really need forward siege if you're going to use these elephant archers in team games. Which means, ostensibly, that elephant archers are kind of an all-in unit. Though, as you can see, if you can get them massed up and you can just have a siege weapon or 2 in support, it's a very, very strong unit as well. So, something really worth considering as we're on up to the next age, right? The Bengali eco bonus, right, is helping us out quite a bit here, getting free villagers per TC when we age up, right? In fact, it's even got us pop capped a bit as Bracer is going to come in, and our opponents decide to just go ahead. They see that I'm an imp. We're about to see our blue players an imp, and I think they've had it about at this point. And the GG is called. Okay, so you can see here, right, that look, our blue player even got out more elephant archers. Gurjara elephant archers are super cheap, actually. I didn't see if he got that technology. I don't think he... Well, no, he doesn't have a castle, so he must not have gotten it, but Gurjaras are pretty sick civ, I gotta say. Their elephant archers aren't the best, but still a pretty sick civilization. And yeah, and so this was a really interesting game. I think that it... So, kind of diagnosing this, yeah, trying to put my thoughts about elephant archers, at least from this test. And this isn't going to be the only one. I'm going to be doing more videos, playing with elephant archers, that kind of thing. I do already have a build order with Dravidian elephant archers. but I'll put at the end of this video. I highly encourage you to check it out. I think Elephant Archers can be a really strong play with Dravidians. I think with Bengalis at the moment, I think you're usually trying to decide between playing crossbows that lack thumb ring, Elephant Archers, or battle elephants in your games. If you can get to the Ratha as a unique unit, yeah, you could try to do that. But opening with the Ratha, I think, is kind of hard in most 1v1s. So, trying to some of my thoughts on the Elephant Archer. I think its potential is really strong as a team game archer player, but I think you have to open in a really unique way. You have to, because remember, one of the things to think about with somebody who's playing, say, like Scouts and the Knights, is that in order to make Knights, you have to have a really big economy. For Archer players, it's more about getting that big Archer mass, and because Archers are cheaper, having a big economy isn't quite as necessary. However, if you're playing Elephant Archers, that takes a really big economy, even bigger than the Knight player, I think. And so you have to think about how you're going to defend that economy. And so I think getting walled up early seems really important. It's so important that you might even consider playing some kind of tower defense, and so that way you can make sure that your economy is untouched, because you're really playing for Castle Age, and you're going to want production to get those units out in the field. I think once you do get them out in the field, you want to make sure that you go all in with them, get all your armor upgrades so they survive. We actually didn't start losing units here until Elite Skirmisher was researched, so that's pretty good for us from that perspective. And so I think that if you can go into the unit, whether you play offense or defense, I would probably suggest pairing yourself with a siege workshop so that you can defend against that skirmisher transition. And the other thing I think I would say is that you want to make sure to probably stay on 1 TC until that first round of farms gets refreshed, and then probably think about adding TCs after that. So, with that being said, right, this is a fun, weird game. I'll go to the stats in a second on the outro. But hey, if you like this video, you enjoyed this video, go ahead, please, I highly encourage you, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, follow the channel. Have a lot of content coming out. With that, I'm Chippy James 59, and I'll see you out there on the ladder. Peace.